guys, welcome back. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all of you. So hope you guys are doing well. So in this video or in today's class, I would be covering the chapter 2.2, which talks about time of supply, guys. So before I start, see, this time of supply is a part of your chapter 2 as per ICSI material. So as per ICSI material, time of supply or next chapter 2.3 is a part of your chapter 2. Clear? But I have done it as a separate chapter like chapter 2.2, chapter 2.3 and all. So we'll be covering accordingly as per my material, guys. Clear? Yes, sir. So now coming to time of supply. See, in our previous sessions, we have learned as per section 7, what is supply? What is whether the supply is supply of goods or supply of services? What is covered in negative list? We have seen in schedule 3. Agree? Yes, sir. Then section 9, which is a charging section, told who is liable to pay tax, whether the supplier, whether the recipient, or whether the electronic commerce operator. Agree? And section 8 covers two special supplies, that is composite supply and taxable supply. So in these two cases, what is the tax rate? What is the tax rate applicable is given in section 8. Then coming to section 10, it gives an optional scheme for the small suppliers to pay tax at lower rates. Then coming to section 11 talks about exemption. So if the goods or services are exempt by way of notification by the government, they need not pay tax if they are providing such goods or services as outward supply. Agree? Now, sir, I am providing supply. I am liable to pay tax, whether I am the supplier or recipient, whether forward charge or reverse charge. Tell me when to pay tax. When am I liable to pay tax? So when? Because there should be some time. Nah? Okay, if I am liable to pay tax, when? That question also should be answered. So section 9 will answer your question who. Who should pay tax? So section 12, 13 and 14. So there are 3 sections which covers time of supply. We'll talk about when we are liable to pay tax. When we are liable to pay tax. And please be careful. There are chances of getting confused here. So let me first explain that. See, time of supply will tell when supply has taken place. When the supply has taken place means when liability has arisen. So, for example, after studying time of supply, there are 3 sections here. You decided time of supply is assume 15th June. So, your liability arises when? 15th June. So, you have made a supply on 15th June. So, when are you supposed to pay tax? So, the due date for payment of tax is different. So, for whatever supplies you have made in June, the due date for payment of tax is 20th of July. That is 20th of next month. So time of supply is not the due date for payment of tax. It is the date on which the supply has taken place, which means the liability has arisen. So should I pay tax on the same day? No. So if the time of supply, assume is in June. So for whatever supplies I have made in June, you need to make the payment within 20th July, guys. It is like that. Hope you guys got the point. So because there are high chances that the students may get confused with the time of supply and due date of payment. So due date of payment, we would be learning it in our payment chapter or returns chapter, which we have not yet done. Why I am explaining it here itself, so that I know few of the students may get confused here. That is why I am giving clarity here itself, guys. So time of supply means when liability arises. So should I pay tax on the same day? No. There is some extra time given because assume I have made a supply today. So if you ask me to pay tax today only, it will be difficult. So give me some time. Okay, so it is like whatever supplies you have made from 1st June to 30th June, the due date to pay tax on this supplies is 20th of July. Clear? Means you need to file one GSTR 3B. There is a return called GSTR 3B. So before filing that, you need to pay tax and file the return. It is like that. Fine, guys. With this, we'll start this chapter. Time of supply. The time of supply fixes the point when the liability to charge GST arises. So liability to charge GST arises where? Time of supply. It also indicates when a supply is deemed to have been made, means when supply is being made. We also call it as time of supply. We also call it as point of taxation. Point of taxation means the point in time when goods have been deemed to be supplied or services have been deemed to be provided. The point of taxation enables us to determine the rate of tax, value, and due dates for payment of tax. Under GST, the point of taxation, that is the liability to pay Cgst or Sgst or IGST, whatever, will arise at the time of supply as determined for goods and services. So now assume for what and all the time of supply is helpful. So see guys, there are different events which will take place. For example, assume I am supplying goods to you. I am supplying goods to you. Okay. So I am supplying goods to you. I supplied goods to you on 10th June. Okay, sir. I issued a invoice for you on 15th June. Invoice is issued on which date? 15th June. I received the payment from you on 20th June. So goods are sent for you on 10th, then invoice is issued on 15th and payment is received on 20th. So there are different events which has happened on different dates. Now if you ask me, sir, when actually supply has taken place? Is it on 10th June, 15th June, 20th June? There is no clarity. Agree? So that is why time of supply provisions are covered in Cgst Act, guys, to give a clarity on when actually supply has taken place. Considering whatever events have happened between the supplier and recipient, time of supply provisions will tell this is what the time of supply. This is what the time of supply. Assume the time of supply as per this. We have not yet read the provision. I'm just telling it. So time of supply is 10th June. Time of supply, I have applied time of supply provisions and I have calculated time of supply is 10th June. So in that case, supply has taken place on what date? 10th June. So on 10th June, whatever GST rate is there, that will be applicable. Okay, sir. Then 10th June is the date of liability, which will help you to decide due date of payment. So supply has taken place in June. So what is the due date for payment of tax? 20th July. Due date for payment of tax. Clear? So time of supply will help you to decide GST rate or due date of payment, everything, guys. Clear? Yes, sir. In other words, time of supply indicates the point in time when the liability to pay tax arises. It is important to note here that though the liability to pay tax arises at the time of supply, the same can be paid to the government by the due date prescribed with reference to said time of supply. Means time of supply is the date on which liability arises, but the payment can be made within the due date of payments. One example I have given. For instance, if time of supply of a given supply is 25th May, so supply has taken place on 25th May, the tax leviable thereon would be payable on or before 20th June, means 20th of next month, which is 20th June, which is the due date for payment of tax prescribed in Cgst Act. Clear? I told you, sir, due date for payment is 20th of next month. Does it mean that you have to pay on 20th? No. Maximum time limit given is 20th of next month. Can I pay before that? Yes, of course, you can do it. But what if you pay after 20th? Interest would be charged. Clear? So due date, whenever there is some due date, so payment can be made within that date, on or before that day. Even if the payment is made on that day also, it's fine. So on or before 20th of next month, guys. Clear? Yes. Chalo, this is just a background about the time of supply. So come to the notebook, guys. A beginning of your notebook where you have written section numbers. Come there. So I will make you to write the sections, whatever we would be covering in this chapter. In this chapter, we would be covering 3 sections. So come to Cgst Act. Cgst Act. Okay. There. I think we are done till 11. So write 12 now. 12. So under section number column, write 12. In content, time of supply of goods. Time of supply of goods. Okay. Next, 13. Next, 13. Time of supply of services. Time of supply of services. So two different sections are there to determine time of supply of goods, 12. Then time of supply of services is given in section 13, guys. Clear? Next, 14. Right, 14. In contents you take time of supply in case of change in rate of tax. In case of change in rate of tax means sometimes rates changes, like it may increase or decrease as per the government notification. Agree? So in that case, how to determine the time of supply is given in section 14, which is the last section in this chapter. So the agenda for us under this chapter is to cover these three sections and do the problems on the same. Clear, guys? Yes. So from exam point of view, if you ask me, yes, they have asked questions on these topics. So like averagely important, please be attentive. And see, I will be covering one by one, section 12 first, then 13, then last 14. If you understand 12 properly, 13 becomes very easy, guys. I will assure you that. Yeah, only 12 and 13. 12 talks about goods. There are totally 6 subsections. 13 also talks about services. There also there are 6 subsections. Order is same to same. Sequence is same to same. Only slight differences are there. What are those? We will see. First, we will understand 12. Then we will go to 13, guys. Okay. And when I am doing 13, section number 13, I will also explain the difference. What we have learnt in 12 and what is given here. I will be covering that. Clear? Yes, guys. Chalo, we'll start with. Pay attention. Time of supply of goods. Section 12 of Cgst Act 2017. Subsection 1. The liability to pay tax on goods shall arise at the time of supply as determined in terms of the provisions of this section. So subsection 1 is not containing any provision. It is telling the liability to pay tax for the supply of goods will arise as per section 12. So what is subsection 2 telling? We will see. Forward charge mechanism. See, guys, there are two mechanisms, as you already know. Forward charge, reverse charge. Under forward charge, who is liable to pay tax? Supplier. So supplier is the one who will supply the goods. He is the one who will issue tax invoice to the recipient, and he is the one who will collect the tax from the recipient and remit it to the government. Agree? Yes, sir. Now coming to reverse charge. Under reverse charge, recipient is liable to pay tax. He is the one who is receiving the goods. He is the one who is receiving the invoice. He is the or any other document, invoice or any other document, and he is the one who is making the payment. He is not receiving the payment, making the payment. Please be very careful. Agree? I repeat this point because see, whenever you are deciding the time of supply under forward charge, always think from supplier's point of view. Assume you are supplier and decide it. Clear? Then if you are deciding the time of supply as per reverse charge mechanism, then assume yourself as a recipient. Think from recipient's point of view and then decide what is the time of supply. Yeah, chalo. I will repeat again. Listen. Under forward charge mechanism, supplier is the one who is liable to pay tax. So supplier is the one who will supply the goods. Okay. He is the one who will issue tax invoice. He is the one who will collect the tax from the recipient and pay it to the government under forward charge. Next, coming to reverse charge. Recipient. Whenever reverse charge is there, we need to think from recipient point of view. So recipient is the one who will receive the goods. He is the one who will receive the invoice or any other document. Then he is the one who will make the payment. Okay. Supplier will receive. Recipient will make it. The recipient is nothing but the buyer. So buyer will do what? He will make the payment for whatever he has purchased for. Agree? Yes. With this, we'll start section 12, subsection 2, guys. Forward charge mechanism. So whenever you are talking about forward charge mechanism, you need to think from whose point of view, guys? Come on. Supplier. Supplier. So the time of supply of goods would be earliest of the following dates. So two dates are there. What are those? Date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. Who should issue invoice in case of forward charge? Supplier. So they are telling or actual date of issue of invoice, take it, or due date of issue of invoice. Sir, what is due date of issue of invoice? It is given in section 31. I have given it here. It is given in section 31. We will learn it. But before that, date of receipt of payment. This point also was there previously when the act was introduced, but the date of receipt of payment has been removed by way of notification. So for goods, as on today, means as on today, only two things are there. What is the time of supply means? Earliest of two things. Actual date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. Sir, what is the due date of issue of invoice? It is given in section 31. Section 31 talks about invoice, credit note, debit note and all. So we have to refer to that when we are studying section 12 subsection 2, guys. Before that, note, with effect from 15th November 2017, date of payment is not applicable for goods as per notification number 66/2017. Hence, GST is not applicable on receipt of advance against supply of goods. So very clearly they have told date of receipt of payment was there when the act was introduced, but later by way of notification they removed it. That is why you can see I have put a bar for it, means I have scratched it. So it is not there as on today. So time of supply of goods means actual date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. Clear? Sir, assume I am supplying goods to you. I have received some advance from you for which I will supply goods in the next month. So on the advance, am I liable to pay tax? No. For goods, actually, if you receive any advance, supplier will not pay tax on it. Then when will he pay tax? When actual supply takes place. That is in the next month, I have agreed that I will supply goods to you. Na? At that point, I am liable to pay tax. Clear? So in simple, on advance, which is received for the goods, which is to be supplied in the future, there is no tax to be paid. When tax will be paid is when actual supply takes place. Clear? But whereas for services, it is not like this. For services, date of payment is there. One of the point there is date of payment. Clear? Only for goods, it has been removed. Fine, guys? Chalo. We'll learn services later. Now, sir, one of the point to decide time of supply is due date for issue of invoice. Now, what is the due date? Within what time supplier should issue invoice? There is some time limit. Supplier cannot issue whenever he want. See, supplier will have a luxury. Supplier can think, I will collect money from the recipient whenever I want. So I will issue invoice whenever you want, whenever I want. But government is not ready. They cannot postpone their tax collection. So government want you to issue the invoice within some prescribed time. Government want you to issue the invoice within that prescribed time. If not, pay tax out of your pocket. Later collect it from the recipient. So assume let me just give an example. I have made a supply of goods on 10th June. On 10th June. So assume as per section 31, the due date to issue invoice is 10th June. But I have not issued. When I have issued the invoice, assume I have issued somewhere on 15th November. I trusted the recipient. I thought, okay, let me give in good amount of time. So I issued the invoice. So actual date of issue of invoice is 15th November. Okay, what is the due date to issue invoice? It is 10th June. So as per section 12 subsection 2, which is earlier, 10th June. 10th June. So supplier is liable to pay tax in the month of June. Liability arises in June. So he will pay it within 20th July. But sir, you can ask me, sir, within 20th July, there is no invoice issued. There is no payment collected. No problem. If you are delaying, it's your headache. It's a headache of the supplier. Why should the government lose the tax on this or delay in tax collection? So government told supplier, your time of supply is on 10th June. So you are supposed to make the payment of tax within 20th July. Now assuming supplier has not collected the money at all from the recipient, he will pay out of his pocket. So on 20th July, he will pay tax out of his pocket. Later, he will collect it from the recipient. Can it happen? So yes, it can happen. Yeah. So that is why government is not ready for postponement of their tax collections. That is why they have set some time limit. Supplier cannot issue the invoice whenever he want. So there is some time limit which has been set within what time he has to issue invoice, which is given in section 31, guys, which is given in section 31. Let us go through it. The due date to issue invoice. See, due date to issue invoice. Please be careful. It is not the due date to make payment, or this is not the due date to supply goods or anything. It is the due date to issue invoice. Who will issue invoice? Supplier to recipient. So this due date is applicable for whom? Supplier. Okay. The due date to issue invoice is given under section 31 of the Act, which mentions that the invoice must be issued. So this actually is a topic which is covered under Invoice chapter, which we will be learning in the later part of our classes. But still, as it is related to section 12, I have put it here also. So so there are different types of supplies where supply involves movement of goods. So assume I am the supplier, you guys are the recipient. I am supplying the goods from my place to your place. So supply, there is a movement of goods from supplier's place to recipient place. Yes, sir. In that case, when should I issue the invoice? On or before the time of removal of goods. Means at the time the goods are removed from my place, I have to issue invoice. For example, assume I am sending goods to you from my place to your place. You are from Tamil Nadu. So I removed the goods from my godown on 10th June. So what is the due date to issue invoice? 10th June. Sir, I removed the goods from my godown on 10th June. By the time it reaches you, it was 14th June. So goods reached to you on 14th June. So what is the due date? Still, it is 10th June only. 10th June. That is the date on which the goods are removed from supplier's place. Because there is a movement of goods from supplier's place to recipient place. Agree? So maximum scenarios will fall here only. Because there will be definitely a movement of goods from supplier to recipient whenever recipient has purchased something from supplier. Okay. Next, where the supply doesn't involve the movement of goods. There is no movement of goods from supplier to recipient. So this is an example for, like, you will go to a shopping mall. You purchase the goods from there only. So is there any movement of goods? No, sir. For example, assume you go to a Tata Chroma. You purchase the laptop. You purchase the TV there, refrigerator there. So in that case, you went to the supplier's place, bought the goods there only. Agree? So there is no movement. You see, movement of goods means from supplier's place to recipient's place. So here recipient is going to supplier's place, picking the goods from there only. So in that case, there is no movement of goods from supplier. Ownership and all is transferred. There is no problem with it. I'm talking about movement. Movement means literal movement from supplier's place to recipient place. So is there any movement? No, sir. Ownership will be transferred. Purchase has happened. Everything is fine. Next, where supply doesn't involve the movement of goods, on or before the delivery of the goods are making available thereof to the recipient. Means, see, this will happen on the same day, because your supplier is going to the recipient place. Assume I went to Tata Chroma and purchased refrigerator on 15th June. So on what day it is delivered to recipient? Normally on the same day. Agree? So the date of delivery. So or else if by chance if I take it delivery of later, then there will be a movement. Clear? For example, assume I went to Tata Chroma, I purchased the goods and asked them to deliver it to my place on 10th of July. On 10th of July. So there is a movement of goods. In that case, it will fall in first scenario. First scenario. Agree? What we are covering in second scenario is you go to Tata Chroma, purchase the goods there only, and you yourself take it. You yourself take it like laptop or anything. So in that case, what happens? There is no movement of goods. Agree? Purchase has happened there only. So in that case, on or before the goods are delivered to you. On or before the goods are delivered to you means on the same day. Assume I went to Tata Chroma on 15th June, purchased the refrigerator. They delivered it to me at same place. Or laptop. Let me take laptop because the refrigerator is a huge one. So laptop. So they delivered it to me there itself on spot on 15th June only. So in that case, what is the due date to issue invoice? 15th June. Yeah, and you need not worry. In the question, when they have given clear-cut indication whether there is a movement of goods or not, whether directly or indirectly, they would have given a int there in the question. Okay, we will solve the problems. You will have an idea. Next, In case of continuous supply of goods, where successive statements of accounts or successive payments are involved. Now, assume I am the supplier of water bottles. So, Infosys company has asked me every day supply 10 water bottles of 15 liters. Payment will not be made on daily basis. Payment may be made 15 days once or 20 days once. So 15 assume 20 days once. So 20 days once you give me a statement of how much waters you have supplied during the period of 20 days. Infosys told I will give the payment to you. I will make the payment to you. In that case, what is the due date to issue invoice is given here. Clear? Yes. So assume or else you are a hotel industry, you are running a hotel industry. So you are given a contract for me to supply vegetables every day, day in, day out. Agree. So payment will not, invoice may not be issued on daily basis. So assume we both have agreed that payment will be made once in a month on 10th of next month. So for whatever vegetables I have supplied during the month, I will issue a statement for you on 10th of next month. You will then make the payment to me. Agree. So that is what is called continuous supply, because in that case to issue invoice for each and every supply might be difficult. So that is why everything aggregate together cumulatively you can issue invoice. So when is it? On or before the issuance of each statement of account, that is at the end of month I will issue a statement for you where I will give the details of what all I have supplied throughout the month. Based on that you will make the payment. So on or before the issuance of that statement or payment is received. So on or before this date, the invoice has to be issued by the supplier to recipient, guys, in case of continuous supply. An example also I have given you. Supply of filter water cans in office daily, but billed on 10th of every month. So every day a filter water cans will be supplied, but invoice will not be issued every day. Payment also will not be made every day. So it will, the bill or the invoice will be issued on what date? 10th of every month. So assume a statement is issued of giving the details of whatever supplies of water bottles have been made throughout the month on 10th of every month. So in that case, what is the due date to issue invoice? 10th. Okay. Last case, where the goods are supplied on approval for sale or return basis. On or before the time of supply or 60, first of all, what is goods supplied on approval for sale or return basis? See, assume you want to purchase goods from me. You are told, because you supply goods to me, if I am satisfied with whatever goods you have sent, I will keep it. If not, I will send it back. So we will tell it as goods sent on sale or return basis. When I have sent goods to you, it is not a sales for me. When it is sales for me is when only you have accepted it. Only when you have accepted it. So this is how the sale or return basis approach works. I have supplied goods to you. I have given 2 months time for you to accept the goods or give it back. So if you accept the goods within the 2 months, then it is a sale for me. Okay. Next, if you send back the goods within 2 months, then it is not a sale for me. Then at the end of 2 months, you have not responded at all. Till the end of 2 months, you have not responded at all. In that case, it is implied acceptance and it is a sale for me. It is a sale for me. So now in this case, what is the due date to issue invoice is given here. On or before the time of supply or 6 months from the date of removal of goods, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier means here they are trying to give you maximum 6 months time. Okay, means they are indirectly telling supplier should give maximum 6 months time to the recipient to accept the goods. Within 6 months, if it is not accepted still, it is treated as sales. You have to issue invoice. That is what section 31 is telling. Clear? Yes. So assume on or before the time of supply. On or before the time of supply means when actual supply has taken place, if the recipient has accepted it, or 6 months from the date of removal of goods means, sir, I have sent the goods to the recipient. 6 months has already happened. Still he has not accepted the goods or he rejected the goods. Section 31 is telling it is a supply. At the end of 6 months, it is supply. If the supply has not taken place within 6 months, if the goods are sent to the recipient, then at the end of 6 months, it is a supply. And the supplier is supposed to issue invoice at the end of 6 months. Clear, guys? Yes. If supply has taken place before, means if the recipient has accepted the goods within 6 months, then that is the due date to issue invoice, the date of acceptance by the recipient. Clear? Yes. Chalo. And here, guys, there are totally 4 scenarios, but which scenarios are important is A and B. A and B is more important. Clear? Yes. Because C and D talks about some 2 special transactions which are not regular in nature. Yeah, illustration. What is more regular is whatever is covered in point A and B, especially point A. Illustration 1. Spinks Private Limited enters into a contract for supply of 100 office chairs at 15,000 with Joy Sales on 21st August. Chairs are removed from the warehouse of Spinks Private Limited on 5th September. So, chairs are removed. So, there is a movement of goods, guys. Yes, chairs are removed on 5th September from the supplier's place. So, come on. What is the due date to issue invoice? Come on, guys. What is the due date to issue invoice? 5th September. Okay, sir. Along with the invoice of given date. Okay. So, 5th September only invoice is also issued. So, no problem. So, actual date is also 5th September. Due date is also 5th September. Okay. Joy Sales has paid 30% of total contract value on 21st August. That is before invoice. 21st August means, can I tell it as advance payment? Yes. Balance 70% is paid after delivery of chairs on 10th September. So here, see, with respect to goods, whenever they have given payment details, ignore it. They would have given it only to confuse you. Even in the exams, they are asking like that. So I repeat, with respect to goods which is chargeable under forward charge, if they have given the payment date, it is irrelevant for you, ignore it. Clear? Because to decide the time of supply, we want only 2 dates, that is due date of invoice, actual date of invoice. Okay. What is the answer? We will see. Since the invoice is issued on the date of removal of goods, it is issued within the prescribed time limit, and hence time of supply for payment of tax on the entire contract value, 15 lakh, is the date of issue of invoice, with is 5th September, because both due date and actual date is same year. So 5th September is the time of supply, guys. So no GST will be payable on advance of 4,50,000 received on 21st August. So before 5th September only 4,50,000, that is 30% amount was received as an advance. Should supplier pay tax on it? No. That is what the clarification given here, guys. By way of note, I told you that date of payment has been removed from the section 12 subsection 2 by way of notification. Clear? Yes. Next, illustration 2. Continuous supply of goods. So there is a continuous supply of goods. Date of receipt of goods, 10th November, 20th November, 30th November. Okay. Date of statement of account, 4th December. So on what date statement of account is given? 4th December. So what is the due date to issue invoice, guys? Come on. What is the due date to issue invoice? 4th due date of invoice. Agree, na? Date on which the statement of account is given. Next, date of invoice is 6th September. Sorry, 6th December. So due date is 4th December, whereas invoice is issued on 6th December. So what is the time of supply of goods? 4th December, which is the due date to issue invoice. Is that clear? Date of payment is also given, but it is not relevant for us. It is not relevant for us. Clear? Sure. We'll continue. So this is about the forward charge. Now we are going to the next subsection, which talks about reverse charge mechanism, guys. Reverse charge mechanism. So whenever you are doing anything or covering section 12 subsection 3, that is under reverse charge mechanism, you need to think from whose point of view? Recipient point of view. You need to think from recipient point of view, guys. Clear? Sure. We'll see. So you need to think from whose point of view? Recipient. Come on, it will be easy. Time of supply of goods under reverse charge mechanism is earliest of the following. Sir, when reverse charge mechanism is applicable, we have already learned. Which section? 9394. So is it easy to remember? Subsection 3. Subsection 2 here talks about for charge. Subsection 3 talks about reverse charge. 9.3 also talks about reverse charge. So subsection 3 has some relations with reverse charge. Agree? Yes, sir. So what is the time of supply of goods under the reverse charge mechanism is the earliest of the following dates. There are 3 dates here, guys. So your recipient. So on what day the goods are received? Date of receipt of goods. Okay. Next, date immediately following 30 days from the date of issue of invoice or any other document by whatever name called in lieu thereof by the supplier. Very important. See, who will issue invoice? Supplier. But for recipient, they are not telling date of invoice because there should be some time given for him to pay tax. So they are telling, okay, don't take date of invoice, take 30 days immediately following the invoice date. In simple, they are asking you to take 31st day. 31st day. See, observe the provision. Read the provision clearly. Date immediately following 30 days from the date of invoice. So that means leave the invoice date. Take 31st date. Date immediately following 30 days means 31st day. Clear? Yes, sir. So please be careful with it. Next, date of payment. So who is receiving payment? Who is making payment? And see, here not only invoice. If the supplier is issuing any other document to the recipient also, we need to take 31st day from that document date. Clear? Yes, sir. Next, date of payment which is earlier of. Because sometimes what happens, reverse charge mechanism is applicable when supplier is not registered and recipient is registered. So when supplier is unregistered, he will not issue tax invoice. He will not issue tax invoice. He may issue any other document. In that case, we need to take 31st day from the date of that document. Next, C, date of payment. Now, recipient, when we are talking from recipient point of view, is he making payment or receiving payment? Making payment. Making the payment. Agree? So we need, what is date of payment means? Earlier of the 2 dates. So what is the date of payment? Earlier of the following 2 dates. Which are those? Date of debit in the bank account of as reflected in the bank statement. So assuming I am the recipient. So what is the date of payment? The date on which my bank account is debited, or the date of recording the payment in the books of accounts by the recipient. Now, recipient will record supplier to bank. This is the date on which he is making the entry. Assume it is 10th June. He is making the entry in his books of accounts. That is supplier to bank or name of the party, like Suhas to bank. Okay. Next, assume on 15th June, the bank account is debited. There is a debit in my bank account. So what is the date of payment? Earlier of this to do. That is 10th June. 10th June. Or else, assume, sir, my bank account is debited on 5th June. Okay. And the entry is made in my books of accounts on 10th June. So in that case, what is the date of payment? 5th June. It is 5th June. We need to take date of payment as what? 5th June, guys. Clear? So please be careful. So this is from recipient point of view. The recipient is receiving the goods from the supplier. So on what date he received the goods? Okay, take that as first point. Second point, he has also received the invoice or any other document from the supplier. Don't take invoice date. Don't take document date. Take 31st day from that date. Okay, if invoice date is assume, let me take how to calculate the days. Assume date of invoice is 5th June. 5th June. I need to take 31st day from this. So how many? See, easy to calculate this. How many days in June? 30 minus 5. Okay, why 5? Because date of invoice also should be excluded. It's 25 days. Plus 6 more days I need to get 31st days. So what is 31st day? 6th July, guys. 6th July. I repeat this calculation. Invoice is issued on 5th June. So 5th June has to be excluded. Date of invoice or document has to be excluded. So take 31st day from next day. Okay, how many days in June? 30 days, sir. So from that, reduce 5 days. That is on 5th June, the invoice is issued now. Including that day, reduce it. So how many days are remaining? 25 days. But I want 31 days. So how many days of July I should take? 6 days. So 31st day from the invoice date is 6th July. 6th July. This is how we will calculate. Clear? We will also do problems on this, because this you have to be very good at calculations, guys, and you should not take much time also for calculating 31st day. Next, the date of payment. So date of receiving payment or making payment? Recipient is making the payment. So what is the date of payment I need to take? Date of debit in my bank account or the date on which I make the payment entry, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. Clear? Yes, sir. Provided that where it is not possible to determine the time of supply under clause A or clause B or C, the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of supply. Means if by chance, if you are not able to calculate, sir, on what day I received the goods, I don't know exactly, on which is the 31st day from the invoice date, I don't have invoice, I have lost it. Then on what day payment is also made, I am not able to determine it. So in that case, they told, okay, I will give you a miscellaneous provision. That is the date on which you are making the entry in your books of accounts. That date only is time of supply. This is only when you are not able to calculate time of supply as per ABC. All three you are not able to determine. All the three you are not able to determine. In that case, what will be the time of supply? Date of making the entry in the books of accounts of the recipient. Sir, what if I can determine two things? For example, sir, date of payment is not known, but rate of receipt of goods and 31st day from the date of invoice is known. So in that case, date of payment, ignore it. Take the earlier of A and B. That's all, straight away. Take the earlier of A and B. If all three are not available, then only we will go to this provision. Proviso. Clear? That is date of entry. An illustration I have given. Let me see. Case number 1. Date of receipt of goods 25th November. Date of invoice 20th October. Please be careful. For reverse charge, date of invoice we will not take. 31st day we will take it. Okay. Date of payment is 28th November. And they have given date of payment directly. Sir, what day debit? What day entry? Don't worry. If they have given directly date of payment, straight away take it. You don't bother about it. Clear? So date of payment 28th November is given, straight away take it. Next, so under reverse charge, it is the earlier of 3 dates. So 31st day from invoice date. Let me calculate it. 31st day. 31st day from the date of issue of invoice. Invoice is issued on 20th October. So how many days in October? 31 minus 20 you do. Minus 20, 11 days. So still you need 20 days. So what is the date? 20th November. 31 days totally, na? So I need 20 more days to become 31. So I need to take 20th November. So now 20th November is the 31st day. Goods is received on 25th November. Then date of payment is 28th November. Which is earlier? Which is earlier? 20th November. 20th November, which is 31st day from the date of invoice. Please be careful. You need to take 31st day, guys. Exclude the date of invoice. Don't take that into count. 31st day from there. Clear? Yes. Next. Date of invoice. Let me first calculate 31st day, 31 days. So here again, invoice is issued on 2nd December. Okay, how many days in December? Let me erase it. Just a second. Let me show it here. How many days in December? 31 days. Minus 2, including invoice date. So how many days? 29. How many days still you require to reach 31? 2 more days. Agree, na? So it is 2nd January. 2nd January 21. 2nd January 21. So 2nd January 21 is the 31st day. So 31st day is 2nd January. So this is 1. Okay, 2nd January. Then date of receipt of goods is 25th November and date of payment is 6th December, which is earlier, 25th November. Which is earlier, 25th November. That is the time of supply under reverse charge. So this is an illustration for RCM case, guys. That is 12.3. 12.3. Clear? Yes. Next, we'll go to the next subsection, vouchers. First, we will see what is voucher. Here I have given it here, voucher. Vouchers are the instruments that can be exchanged as payment for goods or services of the designated value therein. Hence, as per the definition, these are the instruments that the potential suppliers are obliged to accept as consideration in lieu of the goods or services so applied, in part or full. Sir, should we remember this? No, just for your understanding I have given. So what is voucher? See, we call it as coupon, voucher. So in exchange of that, I can buy something or I can avail some services. You would be seeing gift voucher, gift coupon and all. Na? So that is nothing but voucher here. Clear? So this voucher we can be used to purchase some goods or to get some services. In case of this voucher, what is the time of supply? It is given in section 12.4. See guys, please be very careful. This 12.4, 12.5, 12.6, whatever we cover for goods, as it is given for the services. Under section 13.4, 13.5, 13.6. Copy paste, not even a single line change is there. Not even a word I can tell. Agree, copy paste of whatever is given in 12.4, 5, 6 for goods is given for services under 13.4, 13.5, 13.6. So if you learn it here properly, you need not again learn under section 13. Clear? Yes. Chalo. So now voucher. Now when voucher is issued, if you know for what purpose you can purchase it, means a supply is identifiable at the time of issue of voucher only. Supply is identifiable. So in that case, the date of issuing the voucher is the time of supply. Date of issue of voucher is the time of supply. For example, assume I have given a voucher for you to buy a small pizza in Domino's. Okay, I have issued a voucher for you to buy a small pizza in Domino's. So in this case, at the time of issuing the voucher, I know for what purpose it will be used. Yes, to purchase small pizza. So what is the time of supply? The date I issue the voucher or the date you use the voucher? We call it as date of redemption. Agree? So let me take an example. I issued the voucher for you on 15th June. So issue happened it on 15th June. You went and used this voucher in Domino's on 20th June. So we call it as a redemption of voucher. So now the time of supply would be 15th June, as at the time of issuing the voucher, I knew for what purpose it will be used. Exactly. Agree? Yes, sir. Next scenario. Now assume I have issued a Shoppers Stop shopping voucher for you. Shopping voucher for you for 5,000. You can go and purchase anything in Shoppers Stop in next 2 months. Means within next 2 months, you can go and purchase anything in Shoppers Stop which is worth 5,000. So in that case, when I am issuing the voucher, I don't know exactly for what purpose you will use it. Anything you can purchase in Shoppers Stop, assume, or else Reliance Digital, or else a Brand Factory. I am issuing the voucher for you which you can use in Brand Factory. So I don't know exactly for what you will buy using it. Agree? So supply is not identifiable at the time of issue of voucher. In that case, what is the time of supply? The date on which you redeem that voucher. Means the date on which you use the voucher. Clear? Yes. Subsection 4. The time of supply, vice versa voucher, that is for the voucher, is determined as under, where the supply is identifiable at the time of the issue of the voucher. The date of issue of voucher would be the time of supply, the date of issue. Okay. Where, so if it is identifiable, let me encircle it. Next, where the supply is not identifiable at the time of issue of voucher. My second example, the date of redemption. Date of what? Redemption means the date of using that voucher of the voucher would be the time of supply. Hope it is clear for you. I have also given example, illustration, number of examples on this. We'll go through it. Example, Big Bazaar issues a voucher for 5,000 for purchase of any item from Big Bazaar. So is supply identifiable? No, sir. It is an unidentifiable voucher. The time of supply shall be the date of redemption. So it is an unidentifiable voucher. So date of redemption will be the time of supply. Okay, sir. Next, if Big Bazaar issues voucher only to buy juicer, now it is an identifiable voucher. Okay, voucher is given only to purchase what? Juicer. Juicer. The time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher. Date of issue of voucher. So two illustrations also I have given. Let me go through it. ABC Limited enters into an arrangement with Hush Puppies. Buys the voucher. These vouchers were issued on 14th December 2020. So Hush Puppies is issuing vouchers to whom? ABC Limited. Okay. Will ABC Limited use it? No. So the date of issue of voucher is 14th December, guys. Company then, that is ABC Limited, then distributes these vouchers with the denomination of 4,000 to all its employees on 24th December 2020, which is valid until 31st January 2021. So that they can use these vouchers for buying shoes of their choice. See, this scenario is a bit different. ABC Limited, which is a company, has purchased vouchers from Hush Puppies. So who has issued vouchers? Hush Puppies. So what is the time of supply for them? Means what is the date of issue of voucher? 14th December. So whatever vouchers ABC Limited purchased from Hush Puppies, they are issuing it to their employees. Is it a date of issue of voucher? No. Date of issue of voucher is not 24th December. It is 14th December. The date on which the supplier issued the voucher. Actually, in this example, who is the supplier? Hush Puppies, not ABC Limited. ABC Limited purchased the vouchers and they are giving it to their employees. Agree? Okay, sir. Then the employees make the most of it and redeem these vouchers on New Year, that is on 1st January 2021. So date of issue of voucher is 14th December and the date of redemption of invoices 1st January 2021. So what is the time of supply, guys? In this case, the supply is identifiable because in Hush Puppies, what will you purchase? Shoes. Agree? So whatever vouchers are issued, it can be used only to purchase shoes. In that case, was it identifiable at the time of issue of voucher? Yes, sir. So what is the date of issue of voucher? 14th December. That is the time of supply. That is the time of supply. Please be careful. Here the supplier is Hush Puppies. So you need to take the date on which they have issued the voucher, not the date on which ABC Limited have issued the voucher to their employees. Clear? Because ABC Limited is not the supplier here. Hush Puppies is the supplier. Clear? Yes. Next, coming to illustration 2. Nisha buys a voucher from Shopper Stop for 10,000. So who is the issuer here? So supplier, Shopper Stop. 10,000 and gifts it to Tarun on 14th February. And see, guys, in this case, who is the recipient means it will be ABC Limited only. Ultimate person who is purchasing the goods might be its employees. But who purchased the voucher? Who paid for it? ABC Limited. They will be the recipient. Yeah. Next, coming to illustration 2. Nisha buys a voucher from Shopper Stop for 10,000 and gifts it to Tarun on 14th February. Special day. You guys can connect. Okay, you can guess what is the relationship between Nisha and Tarun. On 14th February, the voucher was valid until 29th February. Okay. Tarun redeems the voucher at nearby Shopper Stop on 29th February. So the date of redemption is 29th February. Actually, date of issue is not given. So it's assumed that it is 14th only. Nisha purchased the voucher on 14th February and issued it to Tarun Okay. Date of issue is 14th February and date of redemption is 29th February. Now, was supply identifiable? No, sir. Because there are a lot of things which you can purchase in shopper stop. Agree? So, shopper stop voucher means you can use it for anything to purchase in shopper stop. So, unidentifiable. In this case, the supplier was not identifiable at the point of issue of voucher as Tarun was open to purchase anything from shopper stop. Therefore, the time of supply would be considered as date of redemption, which is 29th February, once in 4 years. 29th February will comes in once in 4 years, but still time of supply is 29th February. Hope it is clear for you guys. Voucher concept. I have two more illustrations here. Yeah, come to this point. Two more illustrations. Krishna Grant sell food coupons to a company. The company gives these coupons to its employees as part of agreed perquisites. So what is perquisites? In income tax you would have learned, which is covered in section 17(2). If benefit is given in kind to the employees. Okay, let's continue. The coupons can be redeemed for purchase of any item. Purchase of any item of food or provision in the outlets that are the part of the program. So company has purchased the food coupons from Krishna Grant and they have given it to the employees. Employees can use this to purchase any item in the program. They are conducting some program. So in that case, as the supply against which the coupon will be redeemed is not known, so unidentifiable. On the date of sale of coupon, the time of supply of the coupon will be the date on which employee redeems it against food or provision items of his choice, because he has a choice to buy anything. Second illustration here. With each purchase of large pizza during the Christmas week from Perfect Pizza, one can buy a voucher for ₹20, which will be redeemable till 5th Jan for small pizza. So do you know exactly for what purpose you can use the voucher here at the time of issue? Yes, sir, to buy small pizza. So as the supply against which the voucher will be redeemed is known on the date of issue of voucher, the time of supply is date of issue of voucher. Date of issue of voucher. Is that clear, guys? Sure. We get back. We have two more subsections. We'll see that. All other instances which are residuary cases, section 12.5. Sir, if you are not able to determine the time of supply as per section 12.2 or 12.3 or 12.4, then only you will come to 12.5. 12.5 is not, you should not take it as a first option. It is a last resort. Clear? Means if by chance there is a supply, you are liable to pay tax, but you are not able to determine what is the time of supply as per section 12.2, 12.3, 12.4. Then in that case, can you escape from tax liability? No, there is some residuary cases given for you. So you need to determine the time of supply as per section 12.5. What is it? Where it is not possible to determine the time of supply under the provisions of subsection 2 or subsection 3 or subsection 4, then only we will apply subsection 5. So the time of supply shall be where a periodical return is to be filed. Means you are a registered person under GST, you are filing the periodical GST returns, then whatever the due date to file that return which you are filing, what is the due date to file that return? That will be the time of supply. There is a due date set under the Act to file each and every returns, which would be learning in returns chapter. So if you are filing any returns under GST, then whatever the due date to file that return is there, that is the time of supply for you. This is for registered persons, because normally registered persons has to file returns. Even assume you are registered under GST. In the month of August, you have not supplied any goods or services to anyone. So there is zero turnover for you. In that case, should you file returns? Yes, at least nil return you have to file. Nil return at least you have to file. Clear? Yes. Next, in other cases, the date of payment of GST. Now, this normally will come under in case of unregistered persons. Like you are not assume you are not registered under GST, but on the inquiry by the proper officer, he got to know that you are liable to pay GST, you are not paid it, you are not registered under GST. So he will ask you to pay the GST. On whatever day you pay GST, that is the time of supply. That's all. On whatever day you make the payment, that is the date of payment. Sorry, that is the time of supply. Clear? This normally comes in case of unregistered persons, guys. Clear? So residuary case is normally not important because very few cases fall here, because maximum scenarios will fall under 12.2 forward charge or 12.3 reverse charge or voucher. Clear? Last, subsection 6, value addition after sale. Section 12.6 means, sir, what is? Let me just explain. See, I have supplied goods to you. I am the supplier. I have supplied goods to you for 1 lakh. On this, GST was 18%. I have collected 18,000 from you. 1 lakh 18,000. Okay. Invoice is issued for what? 1 lakh 18,000. And recipient had told, sir, I will make the payment within 30 days. And I had told him, if you don't make the payment within 30 days, then additional late fees 10,000 you need to pay, or interest you need to pay 10,000. Late charges. Clear? Okay, sir. Recipient has agreed for it. So in this case, time of supply for this part will be decided as per section 12.2, assuming forward charge is applicable. For on 1 lakh, the time of supply will be determined as per section 12.2. But for this delay in payment, 10,000 was not recorded in the invoice. I am receiving something in addition. Why? Because the recipient paid the amount later for me. So I charged some late fee, penalty for him, or interest for him. And please be careful, whatever is covered in this is the amount which is charged by supplier to recipient. Agree? Because there is something penalty, interest and all which government will charge you if you delay the payment of tax, or if you delay filing the returns of income. Agree? Or GST returns. That is different. What we are talking here is the interest, late fee or penalty which is charged by supplier to recipient. When will supplier charge these things to recipient? When recipient is not making payment on time. When recipient is not making payment on time, so the supplier is charging some addition. Okay. For this 10,000, what is the time of supply? They're telling on what day you will receive it. Assume you had made a supply on 10th June. Payment was supposed to be made within 10th July. But payment is made on 10th August. Payment is made on 10th August. So he is paying, recipient is paying 10,000 extra as delay charges or penalty, interest, whatever you call it as. So for this 10,000, time of supply would be 10th August. 10th August. Clear? Sir, for what about this 1 lakh? What is the time of supply? It will be as per section 12.2. Date of invoice or due date of invoice, guys. Clear? Yes. Value addition after sales. Section 12, subsection 6. The time of supply to the extent it relates to an addition in the value of supply by way of interest, late fee or penalty. So it is like, you can remember IPL, interest, penalty, late fees. Okay. For delayed payment of any consideration shall be the date on which the supplier receives such addition. So who is charging this additions to whom? Supplier is charging it to recipient. Please be very careful. I am not talking about the penalty interest which is charged by department to the person. That is different. That we will be taking care later. So whatever additions we are discussing here is which is charged by the supplier to recipient for delay in payment. Clear? Yes, sir. So only for that addition, the time of supply will be the date of receipt. Whereas for the amount which was initially charged, the time of supply will always be as per section 12.2, guys, under forward charge. I have one illustration here, that is third one. Come to the third one. Radha traders sold goods to sham sales on 6th June with the condition that interest at 2% per month will be charged if sham sales fail to make payment within 15 days of delivery of the goods. So Radha Traders is the supplier, sham sales is the recipient. Okay, so they have sold the goods to sham sales on 6th June with a condition that interest at 2% per month will be charged if sham sales fails to make the payment within 15 days of the delivery of the goods. Okay. Goods were delivered as also the invoice was issued on 6th June. Okay. So what is the time of supply for normal goods? For normal supply, 6th June. Because invoice is issued on 6th June, the goods are removed and delivered on 6th June. So due date is also 6th June. Actual date of issue of invoice is also 6th June. So what is the time of supply? 6th June for normal supply. But for addition, sham sales paid a consideration for the goods on 6th July along with applicable interest. So for interest, the time of supply will be 6th July. Whereas for normal value which is charged by the supplier to recipient for the goods, the time of supply is 6th June, guys. Okay. Solution. Time of supply for the goods sold is the date of issue of invoice with the 6th June. And due date to issue invoice is also 6th June only. Okay. And the time of supply for addition in the value by way of interest is the date when such addition in value is received. When that addition is received? On 6th July. That is the time of supply. Clear? Normally for the goods, date of payment should not be taken as per section 12.2. But when we are determining the time of supply for addition, what is the time of supply? The date on which it is received. The addition is received. Please be careful with this, guys. Clear? This is all about section 12. Section 12. So if you guys have understood in detail about section 12, it will become 13 will become very easy for you guys. Clear? So there are some small differences which I will explain. I will also try to explain what is the difference once I explain the provisions of section 13 so that it would be easy for you. But before that, we will do some problems. Come to the problems. On 12, we will do some problems. Yeah, come to the problems at the end of this chapter. Problems I have given at the end of chapter. Illustrations, examples and all I would have given below near that provisions only. But problems I would have given at the end of the chapter, guys. Ready? Yeah. First one. A machine has to be supplied at site. So there is a movement of goods. Agree now? Machine is a good. So it has to be supplied at site means movement is there. Okay. It is done by sourcing various components for vendors and assembling the machine at site. The details of various events are 17th September, purchase order with advance of 50,000 is received for goods worth 12 lakh and entry duly made in the seller's books of account. So, see, on 12th September, order is placed along with an advance of 50,000. So, will advance make any relevance here? No, sir. For goods, advance is not important. Next, 20th October, the machine is assembled, tested at site and accepted by the buyer. So, this means this is the goods on which the goods are removed and delivered. So, it is removed and delivered on the same day. So, due date to issue invoice is what, guys? 20th October. Agree, na? The date on which the goods are removed. Actually, in this case, it is removed and delivered on the same day. So, no problem. So, invoice is issued on what day? 23rd October. Actual date. So, this is the actual date. Okay. Next, 4th November. 4th November, balance payment of 11 lakh 50,000 is received. Does it matter? No. Payment date will not matter at all. Okay. Determine the time of supply in the above scenario. Okay. Let me explain the provision first. As per section 12.2, the time of supply of goods would be earliest of the following dates: date of issue of invoice or date for issue of invoice. In the given case, due date to issue invoice is 20th October as the goods are removed for the delivery on the date as per section 31(1), and the actual date of issue of invoice is 23rd October. So due date to issue invoice is 20th October as per section 31, and the actual date of issue of invoice is 23rd October. So what is the earliest day? 20th October. So therefore, the time of supply for the entire amount, that is very important. Please mention that in your answer for goods. For the entire amount of 12 lakh, what is the time of supply? 20th October. Sir, why? Because see, out of 12 lakh, 50,000 is received as an advance. Remaining 11 lakh 50 is received later. So evaluator expect you to mention that for the entire 12 lakh, the time of supply is 20th October. Because the date of payment doesn't matter here. And I have also given a note for it. You can observe. Date of payment is not applicable for goods as per notification. Hence, notification I have mentioned. If you remember the notification number, you can write it, but I don't suggest you. Notification number and all, you can just ignore. Just write as per notification. Fine. Hence, GST is not applicable on receipt of advance against supply of goods. Clear, guys? Yes. So for advance, with respect to goods, you will not pay any tax. Clear? Yes. Next. And if you guys can remember the notification number and all, great. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm not telling that you should not remember, because there are a lot of other things to remember for you, like sections, subsections and all. And when it comes to your supply, please remember the subsections also, guys. Please try to remember the subsections also. Okay, 12.1, what? Come on, quick recap. 12.1 will tell when the liability for goods arises. 12.2 forward charge, 12.3 reverse charge, 12.4 voucher, 12.5 residuary, 12.6 addition. Easy. If you just try to remember it 2-3 times, if you recall it, you will be able to get it, guys. See, whenever you feel tough to remember the provisions, what you do is don't continuously study for long hours, guys. Okay, for example, see, this is how I used to study. You study for 1 hour or 50 minutes, however you are comfortable, and take a break for 10-15 minutes. Yeah, and during that 10-15 minutes, like you can have a walk or you can sit somewhere and try to recall what you have studied during that last 1 hour. This will be the more productive way of studying, guys. Yeah, because some students, what they will do, they will sit hours together, 3 hours, 4 hours, and they will study. Okay, so studying hours together is not important, but how much will be retained in your head, that is very, very important. Clear? So initially, when you guys are studying during the exam, yes, I agree, you need to study a test stretch for number of hours. But now I am telling, when you guys are initially studying for the first time, study like, okay, whatever topic. For example, you studied section 12 completely, stop it there. Just try to recall 12.1, 12.2, what it tells, what 12.3, like that, along with the section numbers, guys. If you do that, you will definitely be able to remember the section number along with the provisions. Clear? So as and when you finish particular topic, stop it there, take a break, relax, have something, and just have a walk, breathe, do meditation. So different students have different strategy. Clear? So you can do meditation for some time. Then see, whenever you are not feeling like, sir, I'm not able to focus on my studies, I'm not able to concentrate on my studies, so you can practice meditation, you can practice yoga. Definitely it will help you guys. Okay, so to gain your concentration, because yes, I know this is the age where you might be distracted, you are not able to concentrate on your studies. So please try to keep your mind in your control. Your mind should be in your control, that you can do it by way of meditation or yoga, guys. Just for some minutes. Okay, not hours together. So at least for a few minutes, if you are able to do, you can control your mind and thoughts. Fine. So try to do this, guys. So you will definitely be like successful in implementing it or in your studies. So whenever you study like for 50 minutes or 1 hour, take a break for 10-15 minutes. Then and that in that 10-15 minutes, don't go watch movies or any TV shows, or don't start using your mobile. That will take your more and more time, because when you're taken a break for 10 minutes and if you have started using mobile, definitely you will go beyond 10 minutes. I am sure about it. Clear? So during your study time, please keep your distractions aside, guys. And at this moment, I can tell you, mobile phone is the major distractor for you guys. Clear? So avoid using phones, especially when you guys are studying. Clear? So when you are studying, please don't keep your mobile phone in front of you or near to you. Keep it somewhere or switch it off. Switch it off, no problem. You will not get anything important. Nothing is important for you at this moment other than your studies, guys. Okay. So the main priority for you at this moment is only your studies, nothing else. So whenever you are studying, see, first option is keep your phone in switch off mode, or don't use your phone only until you finish your exams. This is your first option. If not, at least keep it in silent mode and somewhere else, not in front of you. Never ever, guys, because when you're keeping mobile in front of you and if you're studying, here and there some beep will be coming, some notification will be coming, you will not be able to focus on your studies. And you guys are doing professional courses. I need not tell all of this, agree, but still I know some of you, at least not if everyone, at least some of you might be doing this blunder or committing this mistake. So please don't do it. Please don't do it, because at this time, at this generation, students are spending maximum time on mobile. Like, yes, if they're spending it for good reason, yes, definitely okay. But during studies, please don't use your phones, guys. Chalo, we'll continue. Determine the time of supply from the given information. This is under reverse charge, guys. May 4th, supplier invoices goods taxable on reverse charge basis to Pillar & Co. So Pillar & Co is the recipient. 30 days from the date of issuance of invoice elapse on June 3rd. We don't require 30th day. See how they have done. They have given this to confuse you. They have given the 30th day from the date of issue of invoice. But I want 31st day. So what date you should take? June 4th. Clear? Sir, in the question only they gave. See, actually, in the maximum cases, they don't give this. We are supposed to calculate. But still, they have given it. Why? Because students in an urgency, they may take June 3rd only. But the answer here is 31st day is June 4th, not 30th day. Okay. Next, June 12, Pillar & Co. receives the goods which were held up in transit. So date of receipt of goods is June 12. Payment made for goods on July 3rd. Okay. Let us go to the solution. As per section 12, subsection 3, the time of supply of goods under reverse charge mechanism is earliest of the following: date of receipt of goods, date immediately following, 30 days from the date of issue of invoice, in simple 31st day, date of payment. So in the given case, date of receipt of goods is June 12th, 31st day from the date of invoice is June 4th, guys. So hope you understood how to calculate it. Simple. 31 days in May minus 4 including invoice date, you will get 27. I want 31 days, so add 4 more days, so it is 4th June. 4th June. Okay, so date of payment is July 3rd, which is earlier, June 4th. June 4th. See, if by chance if you take June 3rd, that you will give it as an answer, but it is a wrong answer. Please be careful, sir. One day will it make difference? Yes, the evaluator will cut marks definitely for that also. Earliest of the 3 stipulated dates is June 4th, which is 31st day from the date of supplier's invoice. Therefore, June 4 will be the time of supply as... Just a second. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah. June 4 will be the time of supply under section 12.3, guys. Under section 12.3. Is that clear? Yes. Sure. We'll go ahead. I have one more big list here. Determine the time of supply in the following cases, assuming that GST is payable under reverse charge. So again, it is for goods. You need to apply with section 12.3, guys. 12.3. So number of cases are given here. Which are those? One by one we will see. Date of receipt of goods in each scenario is given. Date of payment by the recipient of goods is given. Date of payment for reverse charge is important. Clear? Yes, sir. Date of issue of invoice by the supplier is given. So date of invoice is not important. We need to take 31st day from date of invoice. Yeah, we will do it. There are totally 6 scenarios. So first explain the provision. As per section 12.3, the time of supply of goods taxable under reverse charge is earliest of the following, that is date of receipt of goods, date immediately following 30 days from the date of invoice, last one is date of payment. So here one by one I have answered it. Let us go through it, guys. Focus, this is important. Focus, because dates calculation might be, sometimes you may go wrong in an urgent, so please be careful. First scenario, July 1st, date of receipt of goods, okay. Date of payment, August 10th, okay. Date of invoice is June 29th. But should we take it? No. We have to take 31st today. How to count it? Simple, guys. How many days in June? 30. Minus 29. So you got 1. You want 31st today. So remaining how many days? 30. So 30 days of July. So 31st today will be 30th July. Okay, sir. This is how you will calculate. Okay, you try practicing calculation of days, guys. Okay, keeping these solutions, try to calculate. Means you should be able to calculate it very fast. You need not show the working, how I got July 30th Tanta. But you should be able to calculate it at the minimum time. Fine. So you need to calculate. So what is the time of supply? Earlier of date of receipt of goods or date of payment or 31st today. Don't take date of invoice. Date of invoice is only to calculate 31st today. That's all. So which is earlier here? July 1st. July 1st. July 1st. That is the time of supply. First scenario. Coming to second scenario. Again, date of receipt of goods July 1st. Payment June 25th. And invoice date is 29th. So 31st day will be same. Again, July 30th only. So which is earlier here? June 25th. June 25th. It is wrongly given as July 25th. It is June 25th, guys. June 25th. Clear? Yes, sir. Next. Coming to date of receipt of goods is July 1st. Then payment. See, you can see part payment made on June 30th and balance amount paid on July 20th. So there are two dates of payment. June 30th and July 20th. Okay, sir. Then invoice date is 29. So calculate 31st day from June 29. It will be July 30th again. So earlier of 3 dates. So there are 2 sub transactions here. For the first transaction, which is the earlier date, June 30th. Agree for the second payment. So you can, for the first part, see there are 2 parts here. For second transaction, for the first part, the payment date is June 30th. For the second part, the payment date is 20th July. Okay. So compare both of this with date of receipt of goods and 31st day and see what is the time of supply. So for the first transaction, time of supply would be June 30th, which is earlier of July 1st, June 30th or July 30th. Okay, sir. June 30th. For the balance payment, when it is made, July 20th. So compare July 1st, date of receipt of goods, payment date is July 20th and 31st day is July 30th. So which is earlier? July 1st. July 1st. So that is what? There are 2 time of supply here. June 30 for part payment made and July 1st for balance amount. And please be careful, we are doing reverse charge. That is why payment date is important. If it is forward charge, we don't care about payment date. Next, 4th transaction. Date of receipt of goods is July 5th. Then payment is entered in the books of accounts on June 28th and debited in recipient's bank account on June 30th. So what is the date of payment? Earlier of these 2. So which is earlier? June 28. Okay, there is no 2 payments date here, only 1 payment date. But there are 2 events. So what is the date of payment for the recipient? Date of debit in the bank account or the date on which the payment is entered? Whichever is earlier. And in this case, it is June 28th. Okay. Then invoice date is June 1st. Calculate 31st days from here. So how to calculate it? How many days in June? 30 days. Remove the date of invoice, which is 1st June. So we'll get 29 days plus 2 more days. I need 2 more days. So to get 31. So 2nd July is my 31st day. So compare July 5th, June 1 or July 5th or June 28 or July 2nd. Which is earlier? June 28. June 28. when payment is entered in the books of account of the recipient. That is the date of payment. Okay, sir. Next, coming to fifth one. July 1st is the date of receipt of goods. Then payment is entered in the books of accounts on June 30th and debited in the recipient's bank account on June 26th, which is earlier, June 26th. So what is the date of payment? June 26th. So there is no two payments here. So only one payment, but two different events. So what is the date of payment? June 26th. Okay. So invoice date is June 29th. Calculate 31st day from here. So how many days in June? 30 minus 29, 1. So I need 30 more days. So 30th July. 30th July. So which is earlier? Date of payment, which is June 26th. Clear? Last one. Last transaction. August 1st is the date of receipt of goods. Payment is August 10th. Then invoice date is 29th June. So 31st day will come to July 30th. So what is the time of supply? Earlier date, which is July 30th. Clear? And when you are applying the reverse charge mechanism, guys, please be careful. Don't take date of invoice to calculate time of supply. Date of invoice is just to calculate 31st day from the date of invoice. Okay. To calculate that, consider date of invoice. Whereas to calculate time of supply, you need 3 dates. Date of payment, date of receipt of goods, and 31st day from the date of issue of invoice. Clear? Yes, sir. Yeah. Next question. One more. This is an examination question, guys. This is an examination question. We will finish all the goods related question and stop it. Determine with brief reason the time of supply of goods in the following cases where supply involves movement of goods. So there is a movement of goods. So when there is a movement of goods, what is the due date to issue invoice, guys? Date of removal. Yes, chalo. Date of removal of goods is given for each case. So we know that that is the due date. You can just try to remember like that. So due date to issue invoice is date of removal. Actual date of invoice is given. Okay, sir. Then date of payment is given. Is it important? No. And whenever they have not mentioned forward charge or reverse charge, it is always understood that it is forward charge, guys. So please be very careful. Only when they give reverse charge is applicable, calculate the time of supply as per section 12.3, or else always forward charge. Clear? Yes, sir. So date of payment is given, which is not relevant at all for us because it has been removed by way of notification. Chalo, let us start the solution. It is asked in December 2019 for 5 marks, guys. As per section 12.2, the time of supply of goods would be earliest of the following dates. That is, date of issue of invoice or due date for issue of invoice as per section 31. That is, due date to issue invoice is given in section 31. So note is, date of payment is not relevant for goods. Better to give this note. Clear? Next, further, section 31 of Cgst Act provides that a registered person supplying taxable goods shall issue a tax invoice on or before removal of goods for the supply to the recipient where supply involves movement of goods or delivery of goods or making available thereof to the recipient in other case. That is when there is no movement. So our scenario will fall here because they have clearly given in the question that the goods means there is a movement of goods from supplier to recipient. It is clear cut. Oh. Next, in the given case, due date to issue invoice as per section 31 is date of removal of goods for supply. Yeah, so in the given case, what is the due date to issue invoice? Date of removal. In view of the above stated legal proposition, the time of supply of goods as per section 12.2 in each of the independent cases shall be as tabulated below. So which are those? So in the question they have given date of removal of goods, date of invoice. What should I do? Take earlier of these 2 dates. That's all. Very simple. Answer is easy. Okay, but you should make sure that you are explaining the provision first, guys. Without explaining the provision, if you are directly giving the answer, then you will not get full marks. You will get marks because step marking will be there. Okay, but you may get, for example, for 5 marks, you may get like 2, 2.5, something like that, or maximum 3. So please make sure that you will explain the provision also. So first case, 10th June or 12th June, which is earlier 10th June. Next, second case, 10th November or 20th October, which is earlier, 20th October. Then third case, 7th September or 2nd October, which is earlier, 7th September. Then 10th December or 20th November, 20th November. Then 27th December or 29th December, 27th December. So please be very careful, guys, because there are chances of the reverse charge, forward charge, you may get confused. Clear? So please be very careful. For forward charge, payment date is not relevant. Even if they give it in the question, ignore it, but give a note for it. But give a note for it that date of payment for goods is removed by way of notification. Clear? Yes, sir. So this is about this question. Chalo guys, we are done with the goods part. So the time of supply for goods is given in section 12. We have covered the provision and we have also done the problems. So we'll stop this video here and we will continue with section 13 and 14 in the next video, guys. Until then, take care. Bye. See you.